ASP Russell joins me on set this morning. Again, I want to extend season's greetings to you, Officer Russell, to your family, your colleagues, and again, a sincere thanks for making the time to spend most Thursdays. I know sometimes if you're not here, you're either on assignment or there's probably a particular campaign going on and they'll send other officers, but you really, I know it's not easy. I remember that morning you did a 24 hours. I remember you told me you came straight from a night duty to the show. I said, my goodness, we have to appreciate and applaud the commitment, and I want to thank you indeed. And we've had a great year, and I look forward to more discussions in 2026.
With such kind opening remarks, first of all, let me say good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Season greetings on behalf of the Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, 1st and 2nd Division officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I hope all is well with you and your family, and by extension you, Mr. Williams, and your family, and that your Christmas is shaping up as you desire.
Yes, ma'am.
It is indeed sometimes a sacrifice, but I am here to really share that information with the public to ensure that you, the members of the public, are safe.
Well, I'm sure you saw the front page of the Business Guardian, more patrols, less crime. Many are applauding what they're seeing as a concerted effort. The visibility is there. You're seeing officers moving in twos and pairs all over not only Port of Spain, all over the city hubs. But we're still hearing of little scenarios where people are vulnerable, especially at the ATMs.
Yeah.
Walk me through some ATM tips, because I mean, I go to the ATM and I don't really study. I just will, do my transaction, I'll go back to my car and go my way. But clearly, people are being targeted, especially around this time of the year, because the ATM is a place where money resides in the ATM. So it's a soft target really for the criminal element.
Well, first of all, let me commend my officers for the excellent job that they have been doing thus far. I know that a few incidents would still occur, but for the most part, we want to thank the officers for the job that they are doing and other apparatus of the Ministry of National Security. As it pertains to the ATM schemes, and tips, one of the things I want to say is that try to avoid going to the ATM in the night, please, Trinidad and Tobago. Avoid going to the ATMs in the night as much as possible. Now, if there's a need, there's a need, but be extra careful, be extra vigilant, park close as possible. So you limit that time to become a victim. You limit that time to be a person susceptible to attacks from someone wanting to rob you. Never disclose your PIN. Never disclose your PIN. If you are fearful that something would go wrong with your card, then use the tap. A lot of the cards now are tap cards, where you don't even have to place it inside the machines. Practice that. When you secure your money from the ATM, put it away quickly. And if I could go even further and ask you to hide that money somewhere on your person, don't make it as easy as somebody just snatching an envelope from your hand, or you're walking out of a lot of the times they withdraw money from the ATM and they are seen walking, checking the money while they come out for everybody to see. We have to guard against these things, and we are still seeing a lot of offenses arising out of transactions out of the Facebook marketplace.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that a couple of times, and I'm still surprised people get in catch with that.
Yeah, and let me just say something, Trinidad and Tobago. I know you would have heard me saying this for the past few weeks, but what happened is how we generate the topics is that we look at what is taking place, the trending crime in the country, and we choose that topic to educate the public. So it means once you see me sitting here speaking about that, things are still happening too frequent. And
I would imagine there's no warranty really. I mean, outside of the fraud that could take place via Facebook Marketplace, let's say you buy a perfume, right, a fancy smells, and when you really start to use it, you realize it's a knockoff, it's a generic, it's not as potent as the real deal. There's no recourse really. I mean, you don't get a receipt. What kind of recourse you will get if what you buy, you get a 619, what you buy is not really what you get?
First of all, is if you can locate the seller. Because we ask person to verify the seller. Try to see if the seller has any reviews for previous sales and history. All these things are things that will help you. Ask for an identification of the seller. Be careful making the money transaction, and even for the sellers that are legitimate, you yourself have to be also aware that you ought not to part with your goods until the money is cleared. Whatever check, whatever means of payment, ensure that the money hits your account first before you part with your item, because a lot of persons, they would send it online, snap the screenshot of the money being transferred, and then cancel the transaction after. That at that moment the goods are on its way, because as far as you're concerned, you are seeing it as being paid.
Electronics, I know you mentioned electronics seem to be a major, that's a kind of that one that people dangle. Phones, laptops, I guess tablets, what else?
And a lot of people go and make down payments for vehicles, for rent-to-own arrangements.
Vehicles and all too?
Yeah, vehicles. We had a few vehicles as well, especially down in the West. Persons
That's big transaction, Officer Russell?
Well, sometimes it might be a rent-to-own opportunity, and it might be deposit 7,000. We have had that recently, and the person would have deposited the money, and lo and behold, the vehicle never showed up.
My goodness.
And I'm saying we work so hard for our monies, well, most of us, and it hurts me when I see people being scammed of their monies, especially at a time like this where every dollar is important.
Which arm of the TTPS will investigate a matter like that?
A lot of the times we do, there are a lot of frauds, but fraud would deal with certain offenses, the more serious one, but it's investigated at a station level most times. The CID, Criminal Investigation Department, we would also get a lot of assistance from our cybercrime department and stuff like that to really get into it, because it's online, so there's a trail, but a lot of the times it's fake websites, fake VPNs and stuff like that. It is really difficult.
I'll go back to, in the limited time, I'll go back to a question I put forward a couple of weeks ago about items that might be considered hot, stolen items in your possession. Again, that sometimes people could really, you end up in a genuine situation you did not know. You get the item, it looks verified, but lo and behold, it belongs to someone else. So what happens in that scenario?
Now, first of all, one of the things we ask that once you purchase any item, you get a receipt. A receipt is a very good way of really absolving yourself. Yeah? Because there are Facebook Marketplace transactions that are indeed legitimate. But when you look at the law, we look at two things, the actus reus and the mens rea. You, the individual, must know that the item is stolen. The act itself is receiving, purchasing, but the guilty mind, which is the mens rea, you are aware that the item is stolen. Now, one may say they thought they're getting a good deal. But why would you buy, let me say, the newest iPhone for $2,000? That in itself is one of the too good to be true deals. So it would raise an alarm with you.
Within your own checks and balance system, you'll know that something is a bit off.
Yeah. However, if someone buys you a gift, let's say boyfriend buys a girlfriend a gift, he, knowing that it is stolen, so let's use the case of a stolen phone, and he already handed it over to the girlfriend as a Christmas gift, and we track that phone to that person's address.
She could end up in problems?
She will be interviewed, but she'll be required to give some sort of statement indicating, hey, my boyfriend was the person who gave me this for my Christmas. I did not know. She now becomes a witness against her boyfriend.
Wow. So, I mean, we need to, this is like probably the third or fourth time Officer Russell would have mentioned the Facebook Marketplace. I want folks to really be careful going into the season. In the seconds that remain, I'll give you the closing remarks, Officer Russell.
Well, Trinidad Tobago, I want you to be safe generally, safe in your transactions, your purchases, safe about who you are allowed to come to work at your home, the painter, the strange person coming to cut your lawn and stuff like that. You may not know know these persons, it is important that you verify these persons. Never leave your house unsupervised, but especially when you have strange workmen at your residences. Look out for one another. Be your brother's keeper. Show that love and community in the neighborhood. Bring Trinidad back to the old Trinidad that we all knew and grew up in. It starts with you.
ASP Russell. Merry Christmas, my brother.
Same to you.
Season's greetings.
That's right.
That's right. With that, we head to the 7 a.m. news update. We come back. Mental Health Matters. Johansi joins us after 7.